Hi, I'm Holly and I'm from Natural Mama. I'm here today with Gemma from Crow and Wild. Gemma's a yoga teacher and she teaches classes in pregnancy yoga and postnatal yoga, and we're going to have a chat about yoga. So Gemma, can you tell us a little bit about your classes and the sort of yoga that you practice?
So I practice a general hatha style of yoga. I don't particularly prescribe to one school of yoga rather than the other. I like to take different bits from different genres of yoga. But overall, I really like to make my classes fun and relaxed. I like to help people move in a way that feels good without being too prescriptive about alignment or the poses. It's more about the overall feel of the class for me.
That's lovely, yeah. So how did you get into yoga specifically?
So I started yoga when I was at university. So just going to uni, maybe eating and drinking a little bit too much. Started going to the gym and going to classes. And yoga was literally just one of the other classes on the timetable. So just started going and got the bug really.
That's lovely. So you're a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously must affect how you teach yoga and your knowledge, and how do you think it enriches your classes?
Yeah, I guess it does. I guess obviously the knowledge of anatomy is comes in quite useful, and especially with my pre and postnatal classes. So I worked predominantly in women's health and then in public health with women and children and families.
Yeah.
So all of that knowledge obviously comes in really handy, and I think nursing is a profession that helps you kind of view people holistically, and which is really great in your classes. So you're not just going in teaching poses, it's all about the breathing, the relaxation, the whole package. And then I also worked in children and young people's mental health services, which is really great. And I've started teaching a yoga class for young adults with mental health problems. So that obviously comes in really useful.
Yeah. So what sort of benefits have you seen in these classes?
So a lot of these children, what I really notice working in those services as well, they just don't have any time out from their lives. It's constant bombardment with stress and lots of pressures from peers and social media and all of that. And I've really noticed that yoga is just a time and a space when they can just come and just relax and just come away from that for a bit and just chill out and relax. And it's really nice to see when you just see them finally relax and get into all the sort of mindfulness aspects of yoga.
Yeah. Do they respond well to it? Is it a bit of a struggle for them to reach that state? Or?
Yeah, sometimes. I guess I try and make it really informal. We have lots of fun. I often say things like, oh, it feels a bit weird, but just go with it. And you'd be surprised how much they get into it. And by the end, they're all lying in Shavasana, completely chilled out. So that's really nice to see.
That's really lovely. Do you think any of them will actually continue with their yogic journey? Do you think?
Oh, I hope so. I hope it's just planted a seed and they'll maybe go on to explore other types of yoga and it'll go with them, or maybe at least the mindfulness bits of it. They can just practice taking some deep breaths when they're stressed in exams, things like that. So maybe they won't go on to be yogis, but they'll take some little snippets away from it.
Because mindfulness is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, really important. It's really popular these days. I think it's been shown all the benefits of stress reduction, and it's just kind of taking a moment to be in the present. We're often rushing from one thing to the next. So mindfulness really helps you just take a step back and just concentrate on what's happening right now.
Yeah. Do you practice mindfulness like in your daily life? Not necessarily in meditation, but when you're queuing in the bank or
that's
times
really
like this?
Good question. Yeah, definitely. Those are the places to do it, I think. So, if you're just standing in a queue, you can just maybe not close your eyes, you might look a bit odd, but just start focusing on your breathing, just really kind of slowing your breath down, focusing on the air coming into your nose and then out of your body can be really relaxing, even if it's just for a couple of seconds. So, that's really good. And also practicing things like a movement meditation. So when you're walking, from one place to another, just focusing on your feet falling on the pavement and maybe connecting a little bit with your breath. So you can practice it in daily life. It doesn't have to be sitting cross-legged on a cushion meditating. You can,
that's true. What you're saying about movement and breath is that's basically what yoga is, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. So often people talk about yoga and mindfulness, but I think yoga is mindfulness. So you're always connecting your breath to the movement, often one breath, one movement. And when you're doing that, there's not really any space for any other thoughts to enter your head, so it really helps you be in the moment.
That's really lovely, isn't it? I love how it says on your website about if you breathe, you can practice yoga, because so many people think, I couldn't possibly do yoga. Do you get a lot of people like that? And if you do, how do you overcome these barriers?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a big misconception that you have to be super bendy or maybe even quite fit to do yoga. It's just not true. So you might find that in time when you practice you get bendier and you get fitter. That's a nice side effect. But really just start from where you are and just go along to a class. Often you can go to a beginner's class or maybe try out some videos at home. And a good teacher will always give you modifications as well. So just because you see the person next to you with maybe their head on their knees doesn't mean you have to do the same.
No.
So it's a really good form of exercise for anybody.
Yeah. So obviously you do a lot with pregnant mums and postnatal mums. What are the benefits of practising postnatally, do you think, practising yoga postnatally?
Oh, loads. So if you're practising on your own postnatally, you may be going to a group, meeting other mums who've just had babies, that shared experience. It's taking a bit of time out as well for you, which is often hard to get. Even if you can't get along to a class and you're just doing a video 5 minutes, 10 minutes at home every day, it's just something that's just for you rather than you being a mum and meeting the needs of your baby. And the other thing is maybe a mum and baby class, so going along to that with your baby, that's great time to bond with your baby, and it incorporates baby massage techniques and things like that, so it's really good for that early attachment. And again, you meet other mums, which is brilliant. Good support network.
Yeah, that's really important, isn't it? So is there anything, if a mum was thinking about joining a class, either an expectant mum or postnatally, what advice would you give, or is there anything you need to know before you sign up for a yoga class?
I would say, particularly postnatally, just wait until you've had your check with the GP, just so you're cleared fit to do any exercise, just in case. It is really gentle, but you just want to be safe rather. And then find a good class in your area. Speak to the teacher before you go. Often they'll offer a trial class. You can just go along and see if you like it. And if you're worried, just maybe try some things at home first. But I would definitely recommend going along to a class. And if that teacher or the style isn't for you, then just find another one. It's often about the personality of the teacher and the dynamic in the class.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. And if people want to see more of what you do, we've got a few of your videos on our channel, so you can actually start practicing along with Gemma yourself.
Great.